some of the worst.
You upset, yo?
That's some of the worst officiating I've ever seen.
The whole playoffs have been that way.
Oh yeah, the whole playoffs have been terrible.
But this game was ridiculous.
Ridiculous, dude. Like Kemba Walker on that last layup before like Lowry had to basically shot to ice the game. He got fucking raped going to the rim and gets no call. But then Norman Powell after that gets touched for that and one and gets it. It's crazy.
The officiating's been horrible.
And the one where Tatum's going up for the layup and they called him for elbowing the dude that was behind him.
God.
Like, come on, man. The fucking guy is behind him. How do you think he accurately threw an elbow to his face?
Let's welcome the old man here who says he's always first on, last on.
And that 1 point made a huge difference because it went to double overtime. So
yeah,
dude, whole playoffs have been horrible. That Heat game, that game they handed to the Heat, I think it was game 3, where Giannis, your MVP and your defensive player of the year, barely grazes the hip of Paul George shooting in the corner on the way down. It wasn't even on the way up.
I went the other way too. Listen.
No. The foul before that was bullshit too. The one on that Middleton got. I think he got 3 free throws on. Yeah, it was bullshit on both sides. It was a makeup call, if you want to call it that, but they swear there's no such thing as makeup.
The fact that LeBron doesn't win MVP every year is ridiculous.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. And we're back. CrackBacks in the building here. The old man already spewing the LeBron bullshit. How long is this? What's the timer say that you've been on for 90 seconds?
Did you watch the game last night?
Bullshit.
Did you watch the
he
game
played good last night. He's supposed to play good. You say he's the best player ever.
Good? That's the only time he played good, right?
No one ever said that. No one never said that.
No one ever said that.
He's a good player. No one ever said that. We're just saying there's better players. Yeah, we're recording.
Right.
We're just saying there's better players.
We've been going for a minute.
Giannis is
the first thing that popped on. You said you loved Marcus Smart. Everything after that has been going. I want to tag Marcus Smart in this.
Enrique, now that you see the full scope, do you understand the Giannis Falgi?
Yes.
Because he went down. They were losing the series anyway. Then he goes down, and the narrative is, Giannis got hurt, so they lost the series. But if he would have played the whole series, then it's the MVP who loses to the Heat.
Right.
And you want to talk about a beautifully timed Falgi? He was having a good quarter. So my man was balling in the quarter, right? So all of us,
every Falgi move is a beautifully timed Falgi.
Oh, a beautiful Falgi move. He was balling, absolutely balling. He had like 18 points or something in the first quarter and a half, and then all of a sudden he can't walk anymore.
Beautiful Falgi is to know when to go down.
He was crafty, if anything else.
If you don't know what a Falgi is, visit the Instagram page. I'll link it to you here. A Falgi is when you feign injury because you have some sort of athletic shortfalling. That's a shortened version of it there. Check out the Instagram page for the full definition. But I mean, we're full bore into basketball right now. We just watched a double overtime game. How are we feeling about what we just watched there, other than that we love Marcus Smart?
I do love Marcus Smart. He's trying to fight at the end of this game, NBA playoff game. He don't give a shit. He'll start throwing blows right in the middle of the court.
Yeah, the NBA wanted more revenue for Game 7. That's literally the only thing I saw from this game.
Yeah, officiating.
I caught a game when he was in college, when he was at Oklahoma State, and he was going off, shooting threes, dunking on people, and one of the guys fouled him real hard, so he got up and started trying to start a fight, and like 2 or 3 dudes got around him, and he was basically like, "Yo, I'll fuck all y'all up." And the big man on the other team. The big man on the other team came over. Yeah, the big man on the other team came over and like just basically stood in front of him and was like, "Yo, calm down, calm down." And you could see Marcus Smart's lips. He looked up and he was like, "I'll fuck you up too." That made me fall in love with that dude right there.
Yeah, Marcus Smart doesn't back down from anybody. All defensive team, first team.
Oklahoma State don't get a lot of games on ESPN. He knew the shit was on TV and he's trying to throw blows.
Oh yeah, for sure. But
he
honestly,
might be the best player out of Oklahoma State. I mean, it's him and Dan Dockich.
Well, didn't you guys said Starks? You guys said Starks went there, yeah? Yeah.
Starks. But yeah.
Don't forget about Doug Gottlieb.
Gottlieb.
Yeah.
Gottlieb only had a left hand. And Gottlieb was terrible. Gottlieb is on I think he's on Fox now with Cowherd.
Yeah,
he's a show that comes on after Cowherd.
He follows up Cowherd, yeah.
Yeah, I don't listen to anything on
Who
Fox.
y'all got on? I know I got a Hall of Famer on. Who y'all got on?
I'm just repping the squad. I'm just repping the A. No jersey this time. Just repping the A. We're gonna see. Hopefully, I'm getting a Davidson jersey. I love that kid. He said that he plays football. Our second round pick, Marlon Davidson, the guy that said that he loves football because he can assault people on the field and not get arrested. I love this man.
Is he a defensive player?
Yeah, he's a defensive. He's a pass rushing defensive tackle. He's supposed to be a Warren Sapp-like player.
Hey, Joe, before we move on to the NFL.
The one guy was supposed to be Reggie White, and then Tack was supposed to be this, and now this guy's Warren Sapp. Come on, man.
Hey, the Reggie White thing was not my fault. That was your boy there, the one that caught the COVID, and McShay that missed the draft because he had the vid. Whatever.
Real quick before we transition to the NFL, I wanted to add one final note about
we can stay on basketball for a minute. I got something I got to chat about somebody, but go ahead.
Okay, great. So my largest takeaway from all this is that Leon Rose and the New York Knicks need to do what Daryl Morey and the Houston Rockets did and identify an asset from another team that come to your team and be the best asset. And I think that's Michael Porter Jr. It's Michael Porter Jr. in Denver.
Crush.
The Knicks need to find a way to trade for Michael Porter Jr.
Man crush
alert. Let me see if I get some echo on this thing here.
But the eye test.
Man crush alert. Man crush.
Yeah, he had the injuries, but the eye test, no one's going to say this guy's not going to be a freaking star in the future. The eye test, from what you see now, he's got all-star, future all-star written all over him. Nobody can deny that.
The kid can play. He can play. I understand why the Knicks didn't draft him. You hate on that daily, but we understand why the Knicks. No, because it's the Knicks, man. If they drafted Kevin Porter, you know what would happen to Kevin Porter right now? He's probably in a wheelchair for the
Michael
rest of his
Porter
life.
Jr.
Yeah, that Michael Porter. Actually, you're right, dude. Kevin Porter was the kid that freaking went to the Cavs and has that stupid little dangly shit off the back of his hair. 100%. Thank you for correcting me. Michael Porter Jr. Back surgery at a really young age. You're the Knicks. The Knicks don't have good luck with shit. You can't take somebody that had back surgery. So I understand completely why they passed on him. Passing on him sucked because the dude actually can ball. 6'10", 6'11". He's got a nice stroke. He's got good handles. He can dunk on people. He's good. Don't get me wrong. But that back, you feel like you're hearing. If you put your ear to his back, you hear the tick, 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 that. You know, he's not the physical specimen that a Plumlee brother is. That's all I'm saying. If he had
who really is?
If he had the skill that he possesses, but the physical strength and power of a Plumlee, now you're talking about a generational talent.
Plumlees don't get hurt. They don't have back surgery.
They don't have backs. They're like sharks. They don't have actual bones. The Plumlees can't get injured.
What? Let me ask you this, though. Like, at this point, why would Denver trade him?
Denver's not trading him. There's no way in hell Denver trades him.
You got the guy with a mid first round pick. He's got injury history, so you don't really have to pay him an outlandish amount of money. Why not?
And you got him. You got him late. You got him at 15. You're not paying him anything.
They have no reason to trade him.
Well, Harden was also a mid first round pick.
No. Harden was the third overall pick, homie. Harden was.
He was ninth. Are you sure?
Absolutely not. James Harden. You're talking about the beard, right? Who was fat at Oklahoma State, at Arizona State.
I thought he was ninth pick.
Nah,
Arizona State.
Arizona State. He was third. He was third overall. He was fat when he got drafted. And
look it up, Reek.
I am.
And he, young Jamie impression. They have no reason to trade him. They'll trade people. They'll give you Gary Harris. You can probably pry away. You can definitely pry away a Jeremy Grant. You can pry away Monte Morris. You can pry away those guys. You're not getting Bol because they got him in the second round. They're paying him hourly. You're not getting Michael Porter Jr. He got drafted 15th overall, and he has a questionable back. You're not getting him either. You're not getting Jokic. You're not getting your boy, what's his name, Murray. That's it.
Well, Murray. So my standing point Murray's on that nasty, is the Nuggets are built around Jokic and Murray, and the Cronkies are some of the cheapest owners in the NBA. So,
which is another reason they're not going to move Porter, because they don't have to pay him for 2 more years. So you may be able to get him in 2022.
So they're going to have to. But they're going to lose them eventually, so why not get 2 first-round picks out of it or something?
You see, you're thinking with your
first-round picks
in your head right now. These are the NBA 2K trades that we laugh at people on Facebook. You're better than this, Enrique. You're better than this. And I know you're walking around the house today and you're trying to convince yourself, yo, how am I going to get Porter Jr. on the Knicks? It's not going to happen,
I
homie.
think about it all day.
Let it ride. Yo, you can get his brother like we did with Giannis. We couldn't get Giannis, so we got his terrible brother Thanos or whatever his name. It's Porter Jr.'s brother plays in the league.
That ship has sailed. You're never going to get Michael
You're never
Porter
getting
Jr.
Porter. Yeah,
never.
He's never coming to the Knicks. Yeah.
Especially now that he's starting to blow up. He's on a young team. They got talent around him. If they start winning, he's not going to leave.
Yeah, he's not coming to the Knicks. You know who else isn't coming to the Knicks?
He's not going to leave. You got to get him.
You know who else isn't coming to the Knicks? And I don't want him? Giannis Antetokounmpo. He can kiss my ass. He doesn't need to come to New York. I don't even want him to visit the Big Apple and have a nice dinner with the Knicks. Don't want him.
He was the best player in the NBA.
I've never said that. And you can have Enrique and Getz.
MVP.
No, I have never said that. Enrique and Getz know I hate on this cat all the time. Why do I hate on him? Go ahead. Tell him why I hate on him.
Because he can't shoot.
Exactly. All the fucking time.
You can't shoot.
How are you a professional basketball player, dude? All you do is play basketball, and you can't shoot. That shit annoys the hell out of me. He's not even he can't shoot free throws. He can't shoot threes. He's not Glenn Big Dog Robinson with a nasty mid-range jumper. This motherfucker misses layups.
No one is Big Dog.
Or nothing. Yo, that's my dog. I love Big Dog Robinson. If it's a dunk or it's nothing with Giannis. Fuck that guy. Stay out of New York. He said today, a lion don't run from danger. A lion stays. Some crap like that. So it looks like he's going to stay in Milwaukee. Power to you, homie. Stay in Milwaukee. Lose in Milwaukee. Stay the fuck out of New York. Don't want you on the Knicks. Stay away.
I also don't want Van Fleet on the Knicks, so please don't overpay him.
I'll take him before I take Giannis. First off, he'll be cheaper. Secondly, beard game is always tight. And thirdly, he can shoot, which is what an NBA player is supposed to be able to do.
He's an NBA champion.
By default. By default.
You know what Giannis is? A tall Greek dude who can't shoot. That's what Giannis is. Van Vliet.
No, I agree.
He's a champion.
No, Van Fleet played in that championship run. He was
he balled.
He was a vital cog.
Yes,
and he's vital now.
I think the day after his kid was born in that Milwaukee series, he hit like 8 or 9 threes after that. Like right after his kid was born. When they won 4 straight against Milwaukee after losing the first 2, that's when Van Fleet went on fire.
Just because this was a good night for you to make an argument for Michael Porter Jr., even though he's never coming to the Knicks. But in the first quarter of the halfway through the second, he's 3 of 4 with 9 points and a block shot already. 1 of 2 from 3. So he's
and the Clippers have elite. The Clippers have elite defensive wing talent.
Now bear in mind,
they defend wings.
Now bear in mind, they're on the way to getting waxed. They're down 39 to 25 already.
Oh yeah.
But Porter Jr. looks nice, at least in the stat sheet.
Yeah, for sure. That's all I'm saying. Porter Jr. I just isolate Porter Jr.'s play.
He's got a nice fade too.
Yeah.
Yo, real talk. Yo, say so. You're a fellow Giannis hater, right? Because I'm not a Giannis lover. We've established that.
I mean, I'm really indifferent about him. I don't care either way. He's just not the best player in basketball.
Nowhere close to it.
Sage is mad because Giannis is going to win MVP and LeBron's win MVP every year.
Yeah, and LeBron is a better player, but in the regular season, Giannis is the MVP. Giannis has better numbers all around.
You understand what MVP means? It means most valuable player.
Yeah, but he has better numbers. His team won more games.
Without LeBron, the Lakers would be the Cavaliers.
Look how bad the Bucks are without Giannis.
No, that's wrong. That's wrong, Sage. Without LeBron, LeBron.
Giannis left in the second quarter.
That's not a playoff team without Giannis, dude. That's not a playoff. Even in the weak East, they may get 8th just because the East is so bad. But is a seed in the East really a playoff team?
And Sage, they're not the Cavs without LeBron. They're the Pelicans.
They're not.
And the Pelicans got to the second round. They beat a Portland team and got to the second round and lost. Now, they weren't getting past the second round. Add LeBron onto that team, they're moving forward from there. But they're not the Cavs, dude. AD is way better than Kyrie Irving.
Yeah,
Kyrie Irving's another guy that has some strong feelings.
If LeBron was on Milwaukee, would they not go to the finals?
Nope.
Yes.
Absolutely.
What?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Yes.
Absolutely.
100% they would go.
I think
Absolutely.
LeBron 3-4 years ago. Yeah, LeBron 3-4 years ago. I would agree.
Absolutely. They would have beaten Miami in 5 because there'll be one game where LeBron shoots 3 for 86. And they would have beat Miami in 5 in Milwaukee with LeBron at 100%. No one is arguing with that. Now, if you put Giannis on the Lakers because of AD, and you make Giannis now the Pippen or the Robin or whatever you want to call it, that team's still good, but it's completely different than what they have right now. Because Giannis needs to be a number 2. He can't be the guy that you're down 4 points with a minute left to go and you need 2 buckets and a stop. He's not the guy. He'll help you with the stop, but he can't get the bucket. And if you foul him, his free throws, he might be able to shoot him with his elbows.
And I
like
actually take my answer back real quick. Hey, Sage, before you go, I take my answer back because in my head I was thinking Kawhi was still in Toronto. So yes, LeBron in the Bucks team goes to the finals. I agree with that. So go ahead, Sage.
No, I was saying, and that's exactly why he's not an MVP.
Agreed. I'm with you. This is the rare.
It's a regular season award too, though. I think
but this is a rare occasion that I agree with Sage. Buy a scratch-off ticket or something. These don't happen often. I agree with Sage, dude. He's not the MVP. He is. You know what he is, dude? He's Kevin Love on the Wolves. He's a stat stuffer, except that his team wins a little bit more because Middleton's better than the second guy.
They're a better team than that.
Love.
They got
better
like
around
Antonio
him.
McDyess, but bigger.
Yeah, he's just all he is this. He's an athletic dude, and it just looks, he's graceful at 7 feet, and he can dunk on people and does some highlight stuff. But he's not that great of a basketball player, dude. If you actually put him through drills and all that, he would look goofy.
ESPN loves him.
No, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So it's always, Giannis this, Giannis that, the freak. That's why he won the MVP.
He's a safe guy to have on TV as well because he doesn't speak English well enough to say anything stupid. So it's a nice guy for ESPN to have on, nice and easy. He comes on, I love basketball, dunks on people, misses a couple of threes. His team gets knocked out in the second round of the playoffs. And he pulled a classic Falgi, so no one's going to blame him for the Bucks.
MVP is a regular season award, though. MVP is
no heart.
Season.
No, I feel you on that. No, but listen, we're not.
All of his negatives that you're mentioning are playoffs. All of his negatives you're mentioning are playoff failures.
It's because the game changes. So
of course,
the MVP award.
But that's a regular season award.
No,
MVP
but it shouldn't be though. That MVP award should be.
Then.
All right, no. Well, we can slide into that right then. Now, that should be after the season because the playoffs are still part of the season. So if you get to the playoffs and you're absolute ass in the playoffs, you shouldn't win the fucking MVP. That one year that Dirk was nasty in the regular season and they got bounced in the first round and he had to get his MVP award as a visitor. Like round 2 or round 3 or whichever like that. You get bounced in the first round, they should automatically take what MVP votes you had away from you. So, yeah, it should be at the end of the season. Giannis is not the best player in the NBA. And I know that most valuable doesn't necessarily mean it's not MOP. It's not the most important or most outstanding or whatever. But Giannis is a flawed basketball player. If he shot as well, if he could hit 34% from 3, which is below what a good shooter is, he'd be nasty. But this far into his career, he's never going to get much better as a shooter.
Wait. He already said he's staying in Milwaukee?
Yeah, he had now granted he still has another year on his contract. So
that doesn't mean he's staying. Kyrie said
but he did say that people run away from situations. He doesn't do that and that he's here to stay. He wants to build something in Milwaukee. So. That
means he just wants a free agent to come to Milwaukee with him.
Who the fuck's going to Milwaukee?
That's why I think if they don't get a firm commitment from Giannis that I'm going to re-sign, they may trade him because they're a small market. They have no choice.
They may have to trade him.
They should trade him.
But
they definitely should trade him. They definitely should absolutely trade him.
They're pushing the NBA season start back. They're trying to one of the rumors is Christmas Day, right? So if Christmas Day is the first day of basketball, you got to live in Milwaukee in December, January, February, March, and it's still fucking cold in April. That's 5 months of misery, dude. Who's going to sign in Milwaukee when teams that don't have shit cities have money to pay? No one's going to Milwaukee.
Kevin Garnett was in Minnesota for like 6-7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody will sign with Milwaukee before they sign with the Knicks.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Julius Milwaukee didn't get
fired.
Julius Randle.
I have
Milwaukee didn't
NBA
get Bobby
sources.
Portis.
I have NBA sources that have told me no one's signing with the Knicks until Dolan's out of there. So you're right.
What NBA sources do you have?
His name is Draymond Green. What's up, Draymond? Hit me up on Twitter. You remember me.
But it's not the Draymond. The Draymond Green he's talking like sells Bolexes outside of MSG. And those paintings that they scratch on and then turn it upside down and it's something that you didn't recognize, that's the Draymond Green
It's like
about.
Colored sand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's like
Draymond.
and they're burning it with all kinds of stuff and all that. Then he shakes it off. You're like, yo, holy shit, that's Bruce Lee. That's just hot.
My name's Draymond.
I mean, I think I felt awkward about it. I kind of wanted to be like, yo, can we take a picture? But I didn't because I felt awkward about it. So I never asked to.
Where did you saw him in Spain?
Yeah.
He's probably drug trafficking.
He was with his wife. They were vacationing. They were about
They
to
were
go to
definitely
Greece.
drug trafficking. I've seen Locked Up Abroad. I know what's up.
Draymond don't need to drug traffic.
He just got
Fucking
$100
millionaire.
million
He
contract.
does it for the
Fucking
thrill.
millionaire.
He does it for the thrill.
Drug traffic anything.
Nothing gets his adrenaline up anymore. He's a multiple-time champion. He needs to find ways to build. You ever see that movie Crank with Jason Statham?
Yeah.
He's looking for stuff for that. He's grabbing car batteries. He's smashing Amy Smart in the middle of the street. He's doing all that.
I
What
love
happened?
Amy Smart.
Why did you see that movie?
Yo, Crank was good, man.
And I like Amy Smart. I
think
saw it only for Amy.
There was a Jason Statham as he was the lead actor. It was a good movie.
All right, so let's take a beat here and think about Jason Statham's catalog for a moment. So we have Crank, awesome movie. The Transporter.
The Transporter.
Oh
Yeah.
God, awful. Did he?
He was in
He was in the Fast
with a
movies. the
serving
late ones.
tray. I
He's
think
in
it's
the
the
late Fast and Furious
serving tray.
he's in one of the Expendables. I don't think that he's in both of them.
He's in the late Fast and the Furious movies.
He's
too.
in all the Expendables.
He's in both
He's
of them?
Stallone's right. He's
Quoted.
Stallone's right hand man.
I haven't seen the second Expendables. The first one that had the dude from Dexter as the villain, that one I saw. And Batista, the dude from
The Cuban
from,
guy.
Yeah, he was the other detective. The cat that always wore
The white guy with the bald head?
he always wore the fedoras, yeah.
Wait. So you're telling me you haven't seen the one where Van Damme is the villain?
Yeah.
Nah.
Oh, it was, I thought that one was
I didn't see the
terrible.
second one,
Bro.
no.
It's
like
fucking
2 minutes.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
We're
Yeah,
all
it's like-
terrible.
It's like literally, let's put as many washed-up action hero movies or actors in one movie.
Yeah, they got Lundgren in there.
Yeah, Lundgren.
I think Hasselhoff was an extra in one of the scenes.
They dig up anybody they can. Just throw them in the script.
Yo,
All right, hold on.
Dolph-
Before we get off basketball,
Okay.
I heard a
I'm
crazy
listening.
stat this week that brought something up to me. You guys know I love Levitard, man. From when I first moved down here was when Levitard first got on the air.
That was the
The
best
whole
radio
Levitard
show
crew
ever.
definitely made my my afternoon 5 o'clock drive tolerable for many years. Now Levitard has a firm stance that there's no such thing as clutch. He just says you are what you are. If you're a 300 hitter, you're a 300 hitter in the regular season. Eventually, along enough of a timeline with a big enough sample set, you're going to be a 300 hitter, no doubt. That there's no such thing as clutch. I disagree. I played the game. I know the fact that there's people who elevate their games, number one, on game day, and then when there's big games, big-time players go to a different level. And the reverse is true also, where there's other dudes that have that deer-in-the-headlight look, and they freeze up when the game gets too big. So I heard a stat today that the aforementioned James Harden, who we were already speaking about, in the fourth quarter and overtime of playoff games over the last 5 years, he's shooting 23% from three-point range.
That's that lemon booty.
Only fourth quarter and overtime. This is a guy who's won the MVP, who is a regular season all-time 40% three-point shooter. So is James Harden just fat and he fatigues at the end of the games and he can't get the shot up? Or is he a choker?
I think it's both. I think he does fatigue at the end of the game because of the style D'Antoni plays. Never relieves really any pressure off of him. And
He's never really been in elite shape.
And he's also doesn't do anything off the ball, which a lot of guys, when they get trapped, they need to do something off the ball to get the ball back. When he gets trapped at the top, he passes it off and just chills up there. Like, he should be diving to the basket doing something. But yeah.
Have you guys ever looked at it another way? Is that they don't play defense for the first 3 quarters of an NBA game when they finally do. So maybe he is who he is, but then when they finally clamp down and play defense, he's not as good as he is in the first, second quarter when nobody gives a shit.
Don't forget when Oklahoma City was in the finals, he froze up, and that's why they got rid of him. I mean, that's why they kept Ibaka and got rid of Harden in the first place.
You can kind of give him a pass on that because he was a really young player. As far as the, what Sage is talking about with the no defense in the first 3 quarters. The other thing is today's NBA game, those guys are driving to the basket trying to get fouled. So they're flinging stuff up that, it's not a good shot just because they're trying to get the referee to call a foul. So that brings it down a little bit.
3-point range.
Are you talking about 3-point range? Okay.
And only in the fourth quarter and overtime of playoff games. So he's a 40% shooter in the regular season from 3, and then we get into playoffs in the clutch, and he's only shooting 23%. That's a huge difference.
It is, but they don't really contest the 3-point shot until it's the fourth quarter or it's.
I mean, that's a little bit of it. There's a little bit of fatigue in there as well. I mean, it's not that the guy forgets how to shoot when it comes down to the end, but when the legs start going, that's the first thing.
I'm saying he's not clutch. I'm saying there absolutely is a such thing as being clutch and not being clutch. And people choking in the fucking heat of the fire.
And I also do think that in playoff games, like end of quarter specifically, there actually is some defense still played in playoff games because it's a big momentum swing if you can finish a quarter or a half, like say up a certain amount or closing a gap. So
that's what Sage is saying is they don't play defense till the fourth quarter, which makes sense.
But I think in the playoffs,
everything is that guys are just trying to get back up and down the court for the first 3 quarters. Yeah, they kind of tighten up when it gets in the fourth, except for LeBron. He plays defense from the opening tip all the way through the game. Is that right, Sage?
You didn't see that block last night?
He had a what?
That block last night to end the game.
He actually had a couple of spectacular blocks. He had one block like 3 or 4 against blocks. Russ in one game that was a goaltend, but that's okay. But he had a couple of nice blocks to LeBron. He might be not even just the best basketball player ever. He might be the greatest athlete to ever athlete ever. That's what I'm thinking.
No, he is the greatest athlete to ever athlete ever. I just never seen someone 6'9" get so pumped about blocking a 6'4", 6'5" guy. That's all I'm saying.
He does get overly excited by sunning guys much smaller than him.
Yeah, like he dunked over that 5'10" dude from Chicago and like stared him down. Like, come on, dude. Like,
I would have loved to see.
It's always those chase down blocks. Does he ever get a block where he's like D'ing somebody up?
Well, he actually had one that game, I think. I thought he had that was the surprising part. I think in the
most of his blocks
where he was like face up defending the dude.
Yeah, but not quite like Kawhi though. When Kawhi blocked Murray, he doesn't have shit like that.
I think that's more impressive.
But most blocks in. Go ahead, Sage.
Yeah, I think it's pretty impressive when somebody gets by you and you can recover and block the hell out of them like that.
Not when they finish below the rim and you're timing it. I disagree.
Well, he's so big and he can jump higher than them that it's actually a safer play for him. He's going to get fouls less coming from the other side on that. But say against most blocks in the NBA do come from the weak side. It's not usually the guy. Yeah, no, not necessarily chase down.
He's not even coming weak side. He's coming chase down like all the way down the court.
No, I get that, but what I'm saying is usually you're saying that does he ever block a shot when he has somebody beat up one-on-one? Rarely do they ever block a shot where the guy's beat up one-on-one. It's usually somebody rolling over from the weak side or coming from behind.
Tell that to Rick Smits.
Well, Rick Smits couldn't jump. That's the Dunking Dutchman had bad feet.
He was fucking 7'4". He didn't have to jump.
No, he still needed to jump. Yo, Shaq hated. I think we might have talked about this before. He said that's the guy he hated playing against the most. And he was just like, he's so goddamn heavy. He said, every time I go out, he just lean on me. And he's so fucking heavy. He hated playing against Rick Smits. Him and
probably because he would curse at him in Dutch.
Well, Shaq wouldn't, I'm the hooper, hyper, protected by a viper. He would have fucking rhymed back at him. He's not scared of that shit.
Kobe passed the ball.
Yo, the Michael Porter Jr. got the fade tightened up in the bubble.
Not everybody's going to the barbershop, man, and it's annoying me. I kept mixing up Pat Beverly and Lou Williams if I wasn't, paying real close attention to the fucking game yesterday. It's ridiculous.
Have you guys seen Ari Spears imitate Shaq? I keep thinking of the line where he was like, "Hey, I like playing with Penny Hardaway. Penny Hardaway pass the ball. Kobe don't pass the ball." He did like a whole skit on it. Aries Spears is so funny.
I do like Aries Spears. He also does the best Floyd Mayweather Sr. impression of all time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does.
Check out the comedy blueprint, and you don't have to listen to anything. Just go right to the boxing section. He starts out with a Sylvester Stallone crying impression, which is fantastic. Hey, omit that. And then he slides very, very elegantly into Floyd Mayweather Jr., who, in his words, talks in fragments. So check it out. The comedy blueprint, Aries Spears, absolutely fucking hilarious. You got something on your mind that you want to say, praises to LeBron James again, your Lord and Savior.
Can we just get off the NBA already?
Yeah.
Right.
Can we talk about some fucking football? Let's go.
How long are we gonna spend on this shit?
Fuck this.
So angry. All right. So
You're right.
I will say
Fuck
this.
the NBA. Let's move on. Fuck the
this
NBA.
This is the most NBA I've watched in a while.
Oh.
Oh,
What?
But,
Now you don't watch the games.
no, then LeBron is somehow the best when you haven't watched
I didn't
it.
watch tonight's game, but I watched a few of the Lakers games. I watched a little bit of the Heat. I know that probably pisses you off, Joel, but the Heat are pretty good.
I think Milwaukee's pretty bad.
But the Knicks are.
Listen, man, the Heat have overachieved. They
got chemistry.
They also have had the easiest path so far.
They play hard. They play hard, man. You got to give them that.
That's Pat Riley.
They do play hard. They do play hard. Burn Victim Spoelstra is a better coach than I give him credit for.
You're really good.
Who's gonna beat them? They got Bam Adebayo.
No, either. It's a dumb name for an adult.
NBA?
You're the one that brought up the NBA. You're the one that brought up the Heat.
That's what I said. Did I just bring it back to the NBA?
You just brought it back to the NBA. All right, we're going to take 2 seconds here. We're going to be back. And just for saying, we're coming back. No more NBA when we come back on the flip side here. Giannis, listen, if Giannis Antetokounmpo, you're out of the playoffs. You're going fishing. Listen closely. Stay the fuck out of New York.
You would definitely want Giannis.
Maybe we can get with Eric Stokes and Matt Ubriaco on the wing.
Stay out of New York, Giannis. And that corner three, I used to swap.
Yeah.
We already got it going. Guess who's the last one?
Oh, he's here talking to me about how bad of a shooter you were.
When they're talking about how late it was.
Hate. Yo, swap it, yo. Swap it. He's just mad that he used to wear his shoes out because he was trying to slash in the middle of the lane all the time. And he had to put tape on his shoes like he was Pele back in fucking Brazil playing soccer.
He always did that shit. He did that shit in high school because he would fucking try and cut so hard and lean on the edge of his shoes. That shit would pop off like Zion.
Yeah, I thought he was
recording
the first
already?
one. Yeah, dude, because he always says he's the first one logged on. I can hear him laughing, cackling from the other room, but he's nowhere close to getting logged on.
So the conversation kind of shifted towards Harden, but here on whether you got to leave in clutch or not.
I do believe in clutch, absolutely. I think there's
Are
empirical data.
there guys that are clutch, and are there guys that freeze up in the big moment?
Yes, there's empirical data showing that there are certain guys that elevate the level of play when needed most, and there are some that just consistently fall short.
There was a dude named Claude Lemieux that used to play on the Devils. I'm going to delve into the white sports here, but there was a dude named Claude Lemieux that used to play on the Devils when they were fucking winning titles. And, the guy was garbage. During the regular season, nothing. As soon as the playoffs came, scoring 2 goals a night. One fucking playoff MVP one year.
Nah, he was good, man, when he was like 45 playing for the
clutch
Panthers.
as clutch can be.
Yeah, there's a baseball version of that. Mark Lemke, regular season, just a regular normal guy.
Yeah, but what's to say, there are weeks in the regular season where somebody who can hit 550, 600. So just because it's done in January, not January, let's say it's done in June as opposed to October, people get hot. And there's no rhyme or reason why it is.
There are some guys that do that consistently.
Nah.
Mariano Rivera consistently, his ERA was better.
Career.
but his ERA was better in the high leverage moments. The Luis Gonzalez is literally the only blemish in his career.
That's a smaller sample size. He also
and
lost.
that was a fucking bullshit like flail hit.
But
that wasn't even solid contact.
But that doesn't mean he sucked. He was always good. He was never bad.
Nobody said he sucked.
Doesn't mean he's more clutch in the playoffs. He was great.
Are you saying that there's no such thing as clutch?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there may be pressure, like to certain people. Certain people melt down, like Steve Sachs couldn't throw a baseball, or who was the pitcher for the Angels? What's his name? That played right field and ended up hitting like 300.
Yeah, you're talking about a pitcher with the end. You're talking about Ankiel. He was on the Cardinals.
Yeah, Ankiel. So there's certain.
We covered this on another show.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, but I don't think that really means. Sometimes people get hot, man, and sometimes they.
No, but he's not talking about a one-time thing. Like how Joe Dumars got hot in the 1990 finals and won the MVP. He's talking about over time. Like James Harden has the ball. He's the last guy taking the shot most times. You're talking about 5, 6, 7, 8 years worth of data, not one time where a guy got hot.
Do you think that Clayton Kershaw isn't a good pitcher just because he doesn't perform in the postseason?
That was the Astros. They were cheating.
Yeah,
that was the Astros.
They were cheating.
And exactly. That's not a good example because
that
there
is
was
a good
cheating
example
going on.
because he is branded as a choker that he can't win the big game. He doesn't perform in the playoffs. Why is he making so much money? So it's just you never know the circumstances.
Yeah, but really good players can still be chokers, though. Your talent doesn't dictate if you choke in big moments.
You remember Barry Bonds was a choker.
Exactly.
Until he started hitting home runs.
So was Alex Rodriguez.
Yes. Yeah. So it just took time. It just took time, and it kind of is the norm. Just went to the way it normally is.
Or is it something that you grow into where the moment's not too big for you anymore?
The moment isn't big for you.
Because I've been in the locker room with kids, both playing and coaching, big time games where their fucking eyes look like saucers, and they're looking around the room like they're not even there. It's like the second, third quarter before they even realize what's going on. They can't handle the moment.
But that's the reason why they're not professionals.
Are you fucking retarded? I'm not talking about being professionals. I'm just talking about playing sports and raising to the moment. There's different people. There's different people that their games raise up, and there's different people that their games shrink.
I just don't think for professionals it's the same as it would be for a high school or a college kid.
No, there's definitely the clutch gene in college. And college sports, the college sports in America are high-level college sports are basically minor league sports. So those guys they're not getting paid, but they're essentially professional players.
Right,
there's certainly the clutch gene in some of those players in college. You see it early, and you're like, all right, this guy may have it. You knew Durant wasn't afraid of the moment from a young age. You saw, I talk shit about him a lot, but Kyrie's not afraid to take a shot. He wasn't afraid to take it at Duke. The same way he wasn't afraid to take it when he was with the Cavs. So there is something to it. You know what it is, though? It's not that they lose ability. It's not that they lose, the thought pattern or whatever. It's all in their head. And one of the things that you'll see when a guy is cooking, there's a different type of body language to it. And when they go up to take a shot and a guy's feeling good and confident, the form's a little bit better just because everything's nice and loose and flowing. If you're thinking about it and you're scared that you're going to miss the shot, or a lot of times in your Lord and Savior LeBron James's case, that he's afraid that if he gets fouled, he's going to miss a free throw, it tightens him up a little bit. And if you're thinking it's going to miss, you're going to miss. Jordan, who you didn't watch the documentary, which would change your mind about him, he goes, why am I ever thinking I'm going to miss the shot? I haven't taken it yet. So every shot that left his hand, he always thought was going in. Now, granted, all of them didn't go in, but I'd rather him shooting than a guy who's scared to take the shot.
Who's scared to take the shot in the?
There's a lot of people scared to take the shot. LeBron James.
James Harden.
They play. People clearly play hot potato with the ball at times in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
we've definitely seen that.
I don't think James Harden's ever been afraid to take any kind of shot.
James Harden shoots. He just missed.
And his thing is not. I think his thing is really more fatigue. I don't think he's actually afraid or anything. I literally think he wears down. He's not in elite shape.
A lot of it's in their head, though, man. A lot of it is in their head.
For sure. Yeah, because cardiovascular fitness, a lot is in your head for sure. You running miles. Can you go that extra mile? It's all in your head. So same thing. Can I go harder in the fourth quarter? Yes, I can. It's just mind over matter.
And some guys just are who they are, like Russell Westbrook. And we say we're done with basketball. We've been on basketball for fucking 8 minutes here. Russell Westbrook is what he is. He shoots the same shitty jump shot in the fourth quarter that he does in the first or the second. Some guys are just what they are, but it's in their head. We keep harkening back to LeBron, but he went to that sports psychologist when he was playing with the Heat, And after they lost to Dallas, some of those guys need to talk to somebody because it's literally in their head, and the coaches can't get it out of them, so they need to talk to professionals.
And those are the guys that tighten up in big moments and they choke.
I used to read books that were written by these people about the psychology of baseball.
What the fuck did you read? You didn't read no book.
Baseball is, first of all, 90% mental because there's nothing like standing in a batter's box when a pitcher throws 90%.
Absolutely, baseball is 90% mental. That's why John Kruk was a professional.
So,
hey, bite your tongue.
So, like, it is all mental. You're right. But once you get to that level, you really can't make it to that level if you're afraid of something.
It's not that they were initially afraid.
Before, but now you're
and it's
guys that are playing against.
Fear might be a strong word for it. But what I'm saying is that after doubt is actually really a better word for it. They doubt that they're going to get the result that they want. And once you have that doubt in your head, you get what your boy Clark Kellogg calls the lemon booty, and everything tightens up on you. So doubt is a better word than fear. They're not scared. They just don't think they're going to get it done.
That when Scott Brosius hits 350 and 4 home runs in a World Series,
clutch,
he thinks he's the greatest player in the world.
But if
to be a good situation that he was in, he's not any better in that moment than he was the rest of the season. He's a professional, really good baseball player.
But you're talking about a guy rising to the occasion. Brosius wasn't asked to do anything during the regular season, but just play his position well, and it'll move the runner over. That's what Brosius was there for. James Harden has the ball in his hands 95% of the game, all season long. So they're not to the playoffs without James Harden. You could have plugged in a different third baseman, and the Yankees are still in the playoffs.
Oh, no. Wasn't there one home run where he hit when they were fucking losing in a ninth, down by 2?
But that's not what we're talking. That's a guy having a moment.
When nobody's in your face.
No, man, that's a guy having a moment. We're talking about a star who's supposed to do it and doesn't get it done. The stars are supposed to do that shit. Brosius hits a home run, everybody's happy. Was it Bucky Dent 55 million years ago? People still talk about that because Bucky Dent wasn't supposed to hit that home run. If Reggie Jackson hits that home run, he did his job. If he strikes out, that's what Harden's doing, missing the 3.
He's not more clutch than any other shortstop that's in the Hall of Fame.
We're agreeing with you. That's not what he's talking about. Getz is talking about you have a star that took you somewhere, and you're expecting that star to make the play to get you to the next level, and that star doesn't make the play. Not the guy coming up, not Robert Horry hitting the 3 that bounces out to him. It's Kobe hitting the 3 when he's supposed to.
What you're saying is that more people that aren't stars are clutch, and they have that clutch gene over stars that don't.
Never said that. Nobody ever said that.
The level of pressure on Steve Kerr to make that jump shot is not the same as the level of pressure it is for Jordan or Pippen to take that shot.
But then you would say that he's more clutch than a star that can't hit that 3.
Nobody ever said that.
But that's what you're implying. That Steve Kerr.
No, absolutely not.
How do we imply that?
Why not? Because that's exactly what you're saying. Steve Kerr
said that.
You said that. But James Harden can't.
No, how are you saying that's exactly what I'm saying when I never said that?
What I'm saying is that's the definition of clutch. He's more clutch by your definition. He's more clutch than James
that's
Harden.
One shot. James Harden.
What definition did I give? I said James Harden over the last 5 years in the fourth quarter and overtime
body of work.
is shooting 23% from 3. That's a very large stat. That's not just one shot.
Steve Kerr, so you're saying Steve Kerr is more clutch than James Harden?
No. We're saying that the moments for Steve Kerr.
You brought up Steve Kerr.
I brought up Steve Kerr because the role player taking the shot. The pressure on the role player to take that shot is not the same as it is with the star. If the role player misses a shot, you know what people say? That's why he comes off the bench. That's why he comes off the bench. But if you're your first team All NBA player, your MVP guy, your guy who's supposed to be going to the Hall of Fame is shooting 23% in the fourth quarter for a 5-year sample size. Yeah, dude, people are going to start asking. The other thing is is he hasn't won. If you win, all that goes away. It goes off in the ether, but he hasn't won.
Steve Kerr is not defending like James Harden is when he's taking a 3 in the fourth quarter.
Listen.
There's a difference.
Okay, number one.
We're agreeing with that, 100%.
Stop putting words in my mouth. My basic premise is that people who say there's no such thing as clutch are out of their minds. There's absolutely people who rise 100%. To the moment and play better in big games and big moments, and there's absolutely people who shrink in the big lights. Absolutely.
It's the quarterback that drops back and he's calm in the pocket, and the dude patting the ball 1,000 times.
How else could you possibly explain a guy like Barry Bonds, who won multiple MVPs before he even started doing steroids, years and years not being able to play in the playoffs? He was like a 150 hitter in the playoffs for like 10 years before he broke through for 1 year in San Francisco. Exactly. So was A-Rod.
Yeah, to prove
how else could you explain that?
Because it's a law of averages. It all goes back to the mean. Everybody can go through a 1 for 15 slump. The greatest hitters of all time have gone through 1 for fucking 20 slumps.
Enrique, he gave you a 5-year sample size. If Tony Gwynn Tony Gwynn hit 125 in innings 7, 8, 9 for a 5-year sample size, you'd say, listen, something's happening at the end of the game, and it's probably in his head.
Look up Alex Rodriguez career batting average in the playoffs.
And that's definitely in his head because A-Rod is a very sensitive dude. You 100% can tell.
The only postseason he ever performed was the last time the Yankees won in 2009. That's the only time ever in my life.
Surrounded by a great team.
Yeah, because I'm a Yankees fan, so obviously I see him very closely. And
yeah,
we
but
talk about psychology.
He actually won that playoff series.
Yeah, well, because if you actually looked at his face before 2009 in the playoffs, and you saw how locked in he was in 2009, as a Yankees fan, you knew, okay, this guy's not going to shrink no more. It was all mental for A-Rod.
It doesn't work that way. It's not like you
yes,
just
it does. It did for him.
All of a sudden, don't shrink.
Hideki Matsui always consistently played better in the playoffs. That's, obviously
there are people that are it is a rise to the occasion type deal, 100%, and it's all in their head. It's not that they can't swing the bat anymore or that they don't know how to shoot a jump shot. It's that they put that doubt creeps into their head, and you perform a little different when you're nervous about something or you don't think you're going to get the outcome that you expect. That's all we're saying. And the people that can put that aside and still go ahead and perform at a high level
for their career never has that doubt in their head. They just can't get hot for 7 games.
The pressure on a 220 hitter steps in the batter's box, everyone in the stadium's expecting him to strike out. So if he gets a hit, he's a hero. The guy that bats 320, he steps up and strikes out. Making it out when you're a 320 hitter and you're a 220 are two different things. No one had the expectations on you completely.
That's how you think when you're a professional athlete.
I just pulled up.
I pulled up the best player on the field, regardless of whether you're a 220 hitter or not.
So I pulled up A-Rod's playoff stats in 330 at bats, which obviously is not as much as his career, but his batting average does drop 30 points. He goes from 295 to 260.
260. Alex Rodriguez. Multiple MVPs, usually
330 at bats is a big sample. 330 at bats is not a small sample.
No. But this clutch thing, you can argue about this thing. Levitar's been arguing for years on it. Say you're wrong, but it's okay. We have tomorrow that was a very, very, very special day. If everyone leans forward a little bit, you can see what's on the hats.
You know who was clutch? You know who delivered in the big games? This motherfucker right here. The Hall of Famer, number 20, Brian Dawkins.
I thought you were going to say Nikki Sixx.
Tomorrow is the start of the 2020 NFL season. Yes, despite all the bullshit that has happened in the year of 2020, we didn't have any preseason. The draft was fucked up. Actually, I did like the draft. I'll take that back. The draft was actually pretty entertaining this year. But we have some football coming back tomorrow. The Chiefs are playing the Texans. So we have one more day before Bill O'Brien starts fucking up again. How's that guy still have a job?
Ass whipping.
How does that guy still have a job?
Tomorrow.
He trades Hopkins.
Because he won rings on the Patriots. That's why he still has a job.
But that didn't save Pizza the Hut at Notre Dame or
because he was awful.
Or Romeo Crennel right there in the same Houston, or right there with the Houston Texas. Bill O'Brien's a terrible.
But Romeo Crennel got like 6 different jobs. He was in Cleveland, Houston,
getting fatter at every stop.
So I do think Casey's going to win, but I actually think Houston does have a chance to look a little better than people say they are, because obviously they lost Hopkins, but they have improved the offensive line. And I do think Deshaun Watson's really good, man. Like I to say that Casey's going to run away with this, winning 40. Like, look at the games they played last year. The one they won, obviously, is kind of an anomaly. I know what's his name was hurt, but in the playoffs, they were up. They were up big before they blew the lead.
You're talking like these teams know what they are right now. This is all over the regular season game. This is the first preseason game. We don't know what the fuck's going to happen. The one thing we do know is going to happen, somebody's going to pull a hamstring. Somebody's going to tweak a calf. Somebody's going to have to go under the bubble because they took an illegal shot. That's what's going to happen. As far as who's going to win, who the fuck knows? Because we haven't seen them. We have no fucking idea.
They're not. Most of the teams aren't even doing live hitting and tackling in training camp.
Yeah.
So the defenses are going to be lost. There's going to be injuries all over the place.
Yeah. And even the ones that are hitting, like you're not going to hit your teammate like you hit somebody from another team.
Yeah, what if Sage was on the team? I would take him out, yo. I would straight Atwater him.
I don't know, bro. I'm clutch.
So we have no idea. This is going to be a very odd, wacky first few weeks of the football season. Vegas is going to make either a ton of money or lose a ton of money. Well, Vegas never loses money. But there's going to be some weird outcomes to games in the first few weeks here because they don't know shit about each other. There's no timing. The Cowboys are going to suck. I don't know. I can only guarantee a few things. I can guarantee the Cowboys are going to suck. I can guarantee that it's going to be gross when they show Alex Smith's leg on the sideline. I can guarantee that.
Does Washington have a fucking name yet?
No.
They're not. They're kicking around Red Wolves again.
I think it's going to be not till next year. I think they're going to be the whole season with the Washington football team.
Yeah, they're supposed to be working with a branding team, but the Red Wolves aren't even wolves.
Just do the Red Tails. Just do the Red Tails thing for the Black Pilots. I mean, you were racist for so many years. Do something right, Snyder. What a dick.
And Red Wolves are actually foxes. They're small. They're smaller canines. They're not even an actual wolf.
I actually think red pandas are adorable.
Are they vicious?
Joel, please drop in post. Drop me a little clip of a red panda here. Red pandas are adorable.
I will superimpose a red panda. I'll do it if you promise to never do that hand movement again. I will put a red panda on.
That's what LeBron does. That's what LeBron does when he's bitching to the refs. He's always like,
"Your Lord and Savior, LeBron James." Back to basketball. Sage, you better say something, or we're gonna stick on this LeBron James. We've been saying back to basketball here. What do you feel about your Cowboys? Are you gonna pay Dak Prescott? Is Zeke Elliott worth the money? Is Amari Cooper gonna learn how to catch the ball again? CeeDee Lamb, your best player. What's happening in Dallas? Is Randy Gregory still there beating women?
Randy Gregory just came back, actually.
Reinstated, buddy.
What was he? He was suspended for what? For the ganja?
Beating chicks.
No, that was like drugs.
Yes.
He kept failing drug test after drug test.
I mean, you just went, no. Like nobody on the Cowboys has ever beaten a woman.
First of all, this is PG-13, so let's relax.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We're talking about Randy Gregory beating on women, and you're like, no. Like no one on the Cowboys has ever beaten a woman.
One thing I forgot to mention.
Greg Hardy got locked up.
These 9 chicks that beat women, not when they were on our team.
Hold on, Enrique actually has a point here other than Randy Gregory beating women. Go ahead, Enrique.
This was another, because we're talking about the different stats you want to throw out of guys consistently performing when the lights shine brightest. I just want to give a shout out to the biracial angel Derek Jeter, who hit 310 lifetime in the regular season.
Jeter!
And happened to hit 308, 0.02 points less, and had a higher on-base percentage, slugging, and OPS.
Clutch.
Jeter is clutch, baby.
The definition of clutch, Derek Jeter.
And by the way,
straight up.
A-Rod had 300 or something at-bats. Derek Jeter, 734 playoff at-bats. That is clutch, baby. Derek Jeter is not a 5-tool shortstop.
More home runs.
Derek Jeter is not a 5-tool shortstop at all compared to like an Alex Rodriguez, just a natural talent. But when the lights were brightest,
I bet
Derek
you A-Rod had more
always performed. Defense and offense. Derek Jeter was not even the best defensive shortstop, but clutch defensive plays he made him.
While we're talking about Jeter, I think it's time for 2 minutes of Marlins talk.
so check this out here, right?
Jeter just brought in a low-key pickup, Sterling Marte, who in his first game with the team hit a game-winning home run at the end of the game. You always rip on Jeter. You never give him props for what he does do. He's collecting.
Marlins on the way up.
He's collecting low-cost talent. He's getting guys that move the ball around like those old Yankees teams.
And
it's only a matter of time.
And they got a pitcher named Six Toe.
That's right.
Yeah.
My nephew's name was Six Toe.
They have
a couple things here. We've had
Six
pitchers.
Six Toe.
Listen, no. That's not original, yo. That's not original. That's not original. We had Antonio Alfonseca, El Pulpo, We already had a pitcher with 6 fingers and 6 toes. So
I hit on that dude.
His name is Six Toe.
Yo, that dude pitched in my league in that Wooded Bet league I played in Fort Lauderdale.
you got to hit off of El Pulpo?
Dude, he had he pitched in that league.
He had 6 fingers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, his nickname is the octopus, El Pulpo.
Yeah.
Right around when he was done.
So check this, all right? So you said that Derek Jeter was not a 5-tool player. As an owner or
Derek Jeter drafted Six Toe, who pitched 6 scoreless the other night. So stop hating.
I know. I'm gonna continue to hate here. As an owner and / executive
He's
of
a
a
clutch
team,
owner.
he's not a 5-tool player. He's just a straight up tool. Fuck Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter might have hit 330 in the playoffs. He's batting 1,000 with destroying the Marlins. Fuck Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter is a garbage. Derek Jeter is up there with Michael Jordan as far as horrible, great player, horrible in the front office. He's out there. Maybe he drafts a little better than your boy that Jordan did, taking what's the man out of Gonzaga, the guy you hate, Ron Morrison, Adam Morrison. He may not have drafted Adam Morrison. But Michael Jordan never would have traded away back-to-back MVPs. Fuck you, Derek Jeter.
How many games has Stanton missed since Jeter traded him?
Yep. Stanton's not playing right now.
I'll tell you what.
Yelich is hitting 200, by the way. Yelich is hitting 200, by the way.
This shit don't count. There's nobody else. My man Yelich needs people in the stands. He feeds off the fans.
Yelich was a bad move. The Stanton move was actually
Facts.
Yelich ball.
The Stanton move.
How many games has Stanton missed since Jeter traded him? Tell me, Joel.
I don't care, because I'll tell you why. That stadium is far from my house. And the only reason that stadium was worth going to was Giancarlo Stanton.
His name is Mike. His name is Mike Stanton on this show.
Mike Stanton.
We will never call him Giancarlo.
Mike Stanton was a left-handed reliever. And R.I.P. to the Cuban Wonder. He was the other reason to go down and watch the Marlins. Other than that, no, dude.
Enough with the Marlins talk.
I can't name it. Yeah, you did say 2 minutes, and we went over 2 minutes. We will end this Marlins talk with fuck Derek Jeter. All right, back to fucking football here. Tell me something there, Sage. People are saying the Cowboys are the worst team in the NFC East. Defend your boys.
Who are these people that are saying that?
Oh, the people. It's people. It's out there. Everybody's saying it, man. You need to get. You've been in the house too much. I understand it's COVID.
Out there in the Twitterverse.
Put a mask on and walk among the people. And if you listen, right, you just have to stay quiet for a moment and put your ear to the ground. You'll hear them say, "Hey, man, real talk. That is bullshit."
Here, at HTTR Dan on Twitter says that the Cowboys are going to be last place in the division.
Boom, people, yo, look at that.
Bang.
At HTTR Dan on Twitter.
Herschel Walker
says the Cowboys suck.
Yep. Herschel Walker said that Dak Prescott is an abomination and should never play quarterback again. Boom. How you feel about Dak?
Yo, Herschel.
Ridiculous.
Tony Dorsett, he actually declined to comment. That's how upset he is at the actual state of the Dallas Cowboys. Worst team in the NFC East.
You really believe that?
Actually, I don't, but I just wanted to see if you're actually going to say anything.
I just wanted to say, they are.
The worst team in the NFC East, it's a two-team race here, and it's all coming down to quarterback play. If Haskins plays better than Danny Dimes, then, the football team is better. If Danny Dimes plays better, then the Giants are better. Now, Dimes does have Saquon Barkley behind him. We're bringing up a lot of women beating here right now. Fellas, don't put your hands on women, but Darius Geis is no longer on the football team in Washington for beating up a woman. So throwing away opportunities because you want to slap around somebody. Just put on the gloves, man. There's a boxing gym in every city. Put on the gloves, drive down to that boxing gym. There will be an adult that will happily throw hands with you. So, no, I don't think that the Cowboys are the worst team in the NFC East. I do actually think it is the Giants. The Giants are going to be one of the worst teams in all of the NFL.
They just cut another starting corner the other day.
Yeah, they're going to give up 80 points a game. I'm really interested to see how these first few games show up. Offenses will probably be a little bit sharper than the defenses because at least you can still run a route and you can still get some timing down with your quarterback. We might see some really high-scoring games. So if you're out there playing some fantasy, this weekend might be interesting for you. Or people just might be dropping passes left and right. We have no fucking idea. Absolutely no idea. This is the weirdest NFL season of all time.
It's going to be bad. The first couple preseason games are usually bad.
I mean, I haven't watched Hard Knocks, and that's on me. I was supposed to watch it during the week. They're showing some of the practices. How the guys look in Hard Knocks?
I'm not going to show too much in Hard Knocks. They show like little things here and there because I don't want to obviously show any kind of plays or anything.
And guys are in shorts too.
The story on Hard Knocks, they focus more on like the COVID shit and like the players.
That's kind of why I honestly hadn't watched the last episode because I'm just so over them keep talking about that. Like,
have they started cutting people yet? That's when Hard Knocks gets interesting.
Yeah, I think they're going to now in this coming episode if they didn't do it.
When
last.
You see the dude, like his suitcase is halfway packed and he's pacing around the room because he's expecting that text message.
The deadline was a couple days ago, so everybody's getting cut already.
Yeah, they're usually like a week.
It's
behind.
what? It's like 4 or 5 days behind.
Yeah, it's usually like a week behind. So that's why I think for next week you'll probably see the cuts.
I don't know.
I'm going to forego any Eagles talk here, and I'm going to give an unpopular opinion. Okay. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are highly overrated. This is ridiculous to me.
There's too much agreeing going on tonight. I'm 100% with you on that. This hurts a little bit less than having to agree with Sage, but I 100% agree with you on Tampa.
I heard it's ridiculous, man. I heard Mike Greenberg on ESPN the other day say this is the most talented team that Brady's ever been on.
Probably is.
He had a team with Randy Moss and Wes Welker that went undefeated until the last 2 minutes of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay? So if signing a running back who couldn't make it in Jacksonville and a tight end who's been retired for 2 years makes this the most talented team he's ever been on, you're out of your fucking mind, Greenberg. Fuck the Jets, too.
and Mike Evans got hurt today, too.
Yeah,
Mike Evans is questionable for Sunday.
But I got Chris Godwin, baby. I'm happy about that. I hope he doesn't play at all. Give Godwin another target.
Hey, hold on a second. Guys, real quick here. Godwin's not going to help you, man. Godwin's a deep threat, and Tom Brady's arm ain't there anymore. He can't get the ball out like he get out to Moss. Godwin, he's running deep routes for them. That's all Jameis threw to him was deep routes.
All you got to do is look at it this way. Jameis threw 30 interceptions.
Yeah.
If Tom Brady only throws 10, they win 2 more games. They were 7-9 last year.
Jameis also threw 30 touchdowns.
I think Brady can throw 30 touchdowns. Brady threw 24 touchdowns last year with nobody. So he can throw 30 touchdowns with his team.
Hey, let's not forget that every year Tom Brady was in New England, they were cheating.
Hitting the trash can.
And he had like 15 seconds to throw the ball because their offensive line was always diesel, and Tampa Bay's offensive line sucks.
Offensive line is not good.
Terrible. That's part of the reason that Jameis threw 30 picks.
Have you seen how skinny Gronk is?
Yeah, Gronk's not playing more than 10 games. I think the most overrated part about the Bucs offense is the expectation of Gronk's production. It's just not going to happen.
They have OJ Howard and
Cameron Brate. Yeah. Gronk's I think maybe for sure.
Greenberg, you brought up Greenberg saying that it's the most
He said it's the most talent, and it was right after they signed Fournette. He was like, "This is the most talented offense Tom Brady's ever been on," and acted like the Bucs were going to win the Super Bowl.
A slow running back. He's Trent Richardson, dude. He's slightly better than Trent Richardson.
The guy couldn't make it on the Jaguars. He got cut from the fucking Jaguars.
An idiot. He's just an idiot. That's why the guy's a fucking case.
Idiot? Why? What did he do? He didn't do anything.
Yeah, he's a problem.
What problem? Tell us what happened.
That's why he got released.
Why?
Where's his insider information from?
What are you talking about specifically?
I just heard he was a problem in the locker room. Nobody liked him, so they got rid of him.
Heard from the same people that told me
people that were in the locker room with him.
Oh yeah, you know guys on the Jaguars.
You put your report.
Yeah, I know. You personally know everybody you fucking hear things from.
You got your ear to the locker room. That sounds a little suspect.
Really? You've never heard anything from the locker room? People talk in the locker room about shit.
Yeah, but you got to say your source. Like the Jets have a beat writer named Manish Mehta from the New York Post. He's terrible. I quote Manish Mehta. You're going to be like, Enrique, you're an idiot. Well, he's never right. So you can also have a bad source saying that.
So Earl Thomas got released. Why?
Because he punched someone in the face.
Because he punched someone in the face.
Because the people in the locker room got together and said, we don't want this guy on our team.
Yeah, because he
punched somebody in the
face. From their mouths, but it's fucking true.
But what is true that's reported is that he punched someone in the face.
What did you hear about Fournette? That's what we're asking.
That's what
I haven't seen any reports on Fournette.
Like him in the locker room.
I didn't hear anything about Fournette. I've seen Fournette regress every year on the field.
He's always out of shape. He's always hurt. I had him on fantasy.
He doesn't hit the hole. He was supposed to be a power back that can run away from you. He hasn't done any of that. He's been a disappointment in the NFL.
He's got fragile ankles.
He's been a disappointment in the NFL. Rojo, or
And my
Rojo,
fantasy
whatever the hell
team.
you want to pronounce it, is his backup / co-starter. Tampa's an overrated football. Tampa is that Lakers team with Karl Malone and Gary Payton. You got old people on there, just looks great on paper. If this is 2013 and you got all those people on there, team's nasty. It's 2020. Tom Brady's 45 years old. Gronk's 70 pounds lighter than he was.
And their line
Leonard Fournette's
sucks.
a has-been. They're ridiculous that you would say that they're not even going to win the division. They'll come in third, and the only reason they're not coming in last is because the Panthers suck.
Jameis threw 30 picks because their offensive line was terrible, and he was running for his life.
Is that why?
He also can't see.
Yes, that's
Jameis
why.
does just throw picks. That's not because he had a bad offensive line.
He can't
Jameis
see.
had the best offensive line. He would throw picks regardless.
My man was squinting all the time on the field.
He was running for his life.
That's not.
But what he does it big.
That's right, Jameis.
You know he's listed as third string in New Orleans right now.
Well, when Breeze is gone, he's going to be the man, so you better get ready.
Oh, but I thought Taysom Hill was the heir apparent.
Tim Hill is.
He can't throw the ball.
Neither can
Taysom Hill
Jameis.
But what I will say
listed as the number 2.
in defense of the Buccaneers, because obviously I'm agreeing that they are overrated, but I think there's some. They still are going to be a decent team. They're not going to be a bad team. I think they're still going to be better than last year. And their O-line going into this season, PFF has them as the 13th best. So there are worse O-lines. And I really do like that right tackle they drafted. So I think the O-line's going to improve from last year. And Tom Brady's decision-making and just quick passing is already going to make
Man, you're just happy this motherfucker's not in your division no more. You don't give a fuck about anything that happens to Tom Brady. You just know you don't have to play him 2 times a year anymore after he has straight whooped your ass for a decade plus. You that's all. You don't give he could have gone and played for the Toronto Argonauts. You would have been like, yo, the Argonauts, man, they're going to look real good this year. Because that motherfucker's out of your division. That's all that matters.
Well, but and also what I will say to that is I've seen him beat me too many times to just say he's done. That's really why I have a hard time.
Can't wait for Drew Brees to go and sign and play in freaking with the Las Vegas Raiders. I can't wait no motherfuckers out of my division. That's the joy you're feeling right now because Brady is gone. They're not going to be good in Tampa.
Belichick is still there, so I'm not super happy yet.
Yo, but mad players, you bring up Belichick. Mad players are going to Tampa. Nobody's running other than Cam up to New England. It would seem that the players are putting more stock in Tom than they were in Belichick. We got 3 minutes. Who was more important to the dynasty in New England, Bill Belichick or Tom Brady?
Belichick.
I think we're going to find out a lot this year in terms of that. We're going to find out.
Belichick.
Belichick has a losing record without Tom Brady.
Get the fuck out of here.
He does. Look it up.
We're gonna find out. Yeah, he does.
Hey,
he does.
Hey, hold on.
Belichick has a losing record without Tom Brady.
But he's with the Browns,
really?
though. He's
Really?
with the Browns.
Okay, you want to look this up? Hey, look this up. Because you won 2 Super Bowls with the Giants before he ever went to the Patriots.
He wasn't a head coach.
He was the defensive coordinator.
What does that
designed
mean?
the goddamn defense that won the Super Bowls.
What does that mean?
Then he went to New England as the defensive coordinator. They went to the Super Bowl there. When he went to the Browns, they sucked the first couple of years. The last year before he left Cleveland, they had the #1 defense in the NFL. Look it up.
Got a losing record without Tom Brady.
Belichick, I just dropped facts on you all day.
Yes, losing record without Tom Brady.
But you have to give a pass for the Cleveland days. Nobody wins in Cleveland. The man,
Absolutely
he won in Cleveland. His last year in Cleveland, they had the #1 defense in the
Yeah,
NFL.
they were in New England without Tom Brady either.
You know what happened? That Cleveland team that he built moved to Baltimore and started winning fucking Super Bowls.
You're right.
Without Tom Brady?
If Tom Brady wins a Super Bowl in Tampa, then I'll agree with you. But till then, he ain't fucking with Belichick.
Oh, at 48? So when you say facts
you got excuses now? You got excuses now?
There's no excuses. Facts are.
Tom Brady was more important, right? But now you got excuses. He's too old.
Who has a losing record without Tom Brady?
What's Tom Brady going to do? What's Tom Brady going to do in Tampa?
Those aren't facts. Facts.
What's Tom Brady going to do in Tampa?
What's Bill Belichick going to do without Tom Brady this year?
He won Super Bowl rings, and I just laid him out to you.
He's going to lose again.
Yeah, I mean,
we're going to find out a lot. And we're going to start finding out what's happening with the football season tomorrow.
Bill Belichick better win a Super Bowl.
He won multiple Super Bowls without Tom Brady.
No, he didn't.
No?
No, he didn't. Name one Super Bowl Bill Belichick won without Tom Brady.
One Giants?
No, defensive coordinator. I'm talking about head coach.
We'll continue this after the game. We'll be back next week. We're out. CrackBacks.